The producers for the show The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City were just handed a plotline from Drama Heaven the other day, as one of the stars of the show might have been committing crimes. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Jen Shah pleads guilty in wire fraud case.
One of the stars of the hit show Real Housewives of Salt Lake City facing real prison time.
The only thing I'm guilty of is being Shah-mazing.
What's going to be enjoyable about this video is we can go back to an interview where she claims she was innocent and a victim, and have fun listening to her lie straight to our face.
With the situation I'm in, people just putting false things into the universe or speaking things just because they can and want to, they need to understand it has real impact. I'm fighting for my freedom.
I always get a kick out of someone complaining about how hard life is when they committed the crime that made their life hard. Her fighting for freedom doesn't land the same as someone in a war-torn country saying the same thing.
The guilty plea in connection to a nationwide telemarketing scheme that targeted hundreds of older and computer illiterate people, selling them non-existent services and fighting consumer efforts to obtain refunds. The scheme lasted for more than 9 years, starting in 2012.
Going after the elderly in a telemarketing scheme means her mentor must have been Steve Stevens. In my opinion, her punishment should require a decade of being a janitor at an elderly care facility. If you really want her to suffer, disallow all social media posts for the entire decade as well.
According to the indictment, she now faces up to 14 years in prison, must forfeit $6.5 million, and agreed to pay another $9.5 million to her victims.
I'm always shocked as to how big these scam operations get. Aren't you all as well? I'm always thinking it's maybe $1 million max, but then she says she owes victims $6.5 million. And that's low compared to some of these schemes. The Mike G deal I made a video on from the other day is a scheme that led to $45 million in revenue for the CEO.
You are going into a trial. It's important to have the facts and the truth out there, not speculation, rumors, and lies.
Now that she's come out and said she's guilty, it's so funny listening to her talk about all of the lies that were spread about her, the lies that were true all along. In the indictment, it reads that she and her assistant carried out a wide-ranging telemarketing scheme that defrauded hundreds of victims, many of whom were over the age of 55. If there was ever a time to start casting for Billy Madison 2, we have found the replacement for Ben Stiller's character as the caretaker abusing the elderly. The indictment then lists out that Shah would send leads to other participants in the scheme. Those leads showed an interest in building an online business. Leads were initially generated by sales floors in Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. You will find a reoccurring state in all telemarketing-related scams: Utah. For some reason, Utah is the location for all sketchy telemarketing sales floors. I've been told this by numerous people as well. Shah knew that the leads she was sending were people that were going to get upsold into a service that wouldn't get fulfilled and receive a portion of the revenue. This type of practice is very common with the bogus real estate seminars I've made numerous videos on. Getting upsold into mentorship training isn't inherently bad. It becomes a scam when everyone involved knows there won't be any fulfillment or the services are massively oversold. To perpetrate the business opportunity scheme, certain of the participants sold alleged services purporting to make the management of victims' businesses more efficient or profitable, including tax preparation or website design services, notwithstanding that many victims were elderly and did not own a computer.
With our boys and with my family, with my mom and my siblings, to let them know, because what people need to understand, this isn't just about me. This impacts so many people around me. This impacts my husband, my sons, my mom, my siblings, my friends.
A documentary was released on Hulu detailing her indictment and speaking with victims damaged by her scheme. All of the people close to her wouldn't have been impacted by anything if she just didn't commit crimes. That seems like an easy solution.
People are wondering, like, how'd you get so rich?
My background is in direct response marketing for about 20 years. So our company does, advertising. We have a platform that helps people acquire customers. So when you're shopping online or on the internet and something pops, we have the algorithm behind why you're getting served that ad.
I have a feeling 98% of the people watching still have no idea what her company does. Lead generation is simply finding people who have shown interest in a product or service and sending their data to someone who will sell them the desired product or service and receiving a cut. But at no point did the defendants intend that the victims would actually earn any of the promised return on their intended investment, nor did the victims actually earn any such returns. These telemarketing sales floors, predominantly in Utah, are certainly part of the dark side of the internet marketing world. These companies devise schemes to elicit every last dollar out of customers without delivering quality products or services. A lot of these companies are really good at selling, whether it's weight loss pills, magical dating tactics, or how to start a six-figure wholesaling business. You'll find that large telemarketing floors are the centerpiece of a lot of these fraud schemes.
It's important to me to fight. It's important to me, one, because I'm innocent. I'm not guilty of any of these charges that that I've been accused of. I'm innocent.
This interview was filmed a month ago, so I wonder why she decided to change her tune. Tell me if this sounds like someone who's innocent. The defendants undertook significant efforts to conceal their roles in the business opportunity scheme. They incorporated their business entities using third parties' names and instructed other participants to do the same. At least they followed the fraud playbook, which is to do whatever it takes to remove your name from the entity controlling the crimes being committed. But they still found her. They used and directed others to use encrypted messaging applications to communicate with other participants, instructed other participants to send their share of certain fraud proceeds to offshore bank accounts, and made numerous cash withdrawals structured to avoid currency transaction reporting requirements.
I'm innocent.
After the arrest, did you consider quitting the show?
We did have a discussion, me and Coach and the boys, and I was like, no, I'm innocent, and I felt like I need to tell my story.
What's unfortunate about schemes like this one is that they ruin the industry for the good guys. There's plenty of awesome coaching and business services companies out there, but they can sometimes receive a bad reputation from scam operations like the ones detailed in the indictment.
I have always taught everybody to stand up for yourself and you fight because, and you do the right thing. Because if you do the right thing, eventually the right thing is going to happen and you will be blessed.
Miraculously, yes, fraud schemes always seem to topple down and the right thing seems to happen, which is the criminal goes to prison and pays millions of dollars in restitution.
I don't know why I'm going through this or my family's going through this. I don't know. But I don't question Allah. I don't question God's plan.
God's plan, my favorite logical fallacy used to justify abhorrent behavior. I trusted God's plan. It was his plan all along to have me scam the elderly.
There is a reason for this, and I just feel like I need to set an example for others that you fight your ass off for your freedom.
She set an example for her kids on who not to become. Her kids are the real victims in all of this.
You fight because guess what? It is very easy. It's easy for people to accuse a person of color, a female person of color here in America today. It is easy for them to accuse people, and you can look at the statistics.
She is a victim, that's for sure. Just think of the type of person you have to be to scam the elderly as your business, then flaunt your wealth on a TV show, and then when you get accused, you have an interview like this one where you claim to be the victim.
Because this is what I've taught my kids. I have taught my kids and my nieces and nephews, you fight for what's right and you stand up for yourself.
I wish she spent as much energy fighting to find a successful business model that wasn't scamming people.
I'm Muslim. I'm a female woman of color, and I'm trying to do business here in Utah. It's like I checked all the boxes for if you want to take the most difficult road growing up here in Utah and then trying to do business.
She certainly knows how to play the victim card, right? The real victims are her kids and her husband, assuming he wasn't complicit in any way, which appears to be the case. Unfortunately, these types of cases never lead to actual punishment. Somehow this professional victim will find a way to serve minimal amounts of time in prison, if she even does. According to the law, she should be forced to serve years in jail, up to a maximum of 30. We know that won't be the case. These crimes exist because the punishment isn't strong enough. Thanks for watching.